Hey everybody, John King with Summit Funding coming to you with my weekly Business Booster broadcast. Say that 3 times fast, Business Booster broadcast. Anyway, want to thank you all for joining me either live or recorded as we meet every single week for 30 minutes at 1:30 Pacific time, talking about different topics that help you to grow your business, whether you're a realtor, whether you're a financial planner, a CPA, somebody that owns a completely unrelated business. I really want to give as much as I can of what I've learned in coaching, what I've learned in running my business for the last 22 years, and help share that information with you and help you to run and grow your business. So here we go. So today's topic is going to be on continuing the series I've done for the last few weeks about growing your business using social media. And I think that everybody looks at all the different social media platforms and says, John, I use this, I don't use that. I know how to use this, I don't know how to use that. And I think that the key I want to impress upon you, as I talked about YouTube 2 weeks ago, I talked about Facebook last week, and now I'm talking about LinkedIn this week, is experiment, experiment, experiment. Don't try and figure it out before you try. Try and then iterate. Find what works, find what doesn't work, but start experimenting on every platform that you want to get on. And I think LinkedIn is one of the platforms that I've spent a decent amount of time on, but I haven't really leveraged it to its full power. And I'm starting to dig into this right now and saying, okay, how can I use LinkedIn? What can I do to leverage LinkedIn better, to drive more business to me and create more relationships? So really, that's what I'm going to focus on today for the next 30 minutes is how to grow your business using LinkedIn. And I'll start with a bit of a story. So I joined LinkedIn back in 2011, and I simply had the thinking of, I want to connect with as many people as I possibly can. And I did. Every time that there was anybody in any industry, I didn't care who they were, I literally just connected with everybody I possibly could to grow as many connections as I could, thinking the more people I had connections with, the better I was going to be. And I learned over time that there was really no value in that. I mean, I think right now, I don't know how many connections I have. I got a whole bunch, but I'm sure I'll find it here on my profile page. I'm looking at it on my other screen. But the bottom line is I've got a bunch of connections and I don't get very much out of those connections. It says 500 plus. So I don't even know what that number is. What the heck is 500 plus? 2,400 connections on LinkedIn. What is that worth? Because what it really talks about is it talks about how many people I know. And the truth is I don't know very many of those people. So I think that that approach might be valuable down the road, but in the short term, it really isn't any kind of a connection. And it actually misleads me because it makes me think I have a connection, like the degrees of separation. This is really what LinkedIn is all about, is it's about creating connections with people. Have somebody you know, somebody you have a relationship with that is a professional relationship. And the really, really cool thing about it is the concept of degrees of separation. So we've all heard the theory that we are no more than 6 degrees of separation from anybody on the earth. So if you were to pick any person anywhere, you theoretically know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows that person. Maybe I didn't count to 6 properly. But you're within 6 relationships of knowing that person. And that's actually the super cool thing about LinkedIn, is if you go about it the right way and you're truly connecting with people that you at least have some form of a relationship with, that you at least know of them, then the 2nd degree connection means, hey, I know somebody who knows them. The 3rd degree connection, I know somebody who knows somebody who knows them. To me, that would be much more valuable. And I've lost that in my LinkedIn because I connected with everybody. So it's something to think about if you haven't leveraged LinkedIn, is think about, how do I want to use it? Am I using it to supplement real life relationships? In other words, I meet somebody in a professional networking environment. About a month and a half, 2 months ago, I did a video, one of these live streams about networking and how to properly work a networking event. Well, one of the steps you can do is everybody that you met at the networking event, you can connect with them on LinkedIn, because now you have a connection. You've met at some point. And now if there's somebody else you're targeting, let's say that you are a real estate agent and you are trying to get in with a builder, because the builder might be closing out a subdivision and have some inventory sitting there, and you want to get a connection to try and approach them and ask them, hey, would you use me to list those homes? Here's why I'd be a great realtor for you. And you're looking around and you're thinking, man, how do I could cold call. I could try and pick up the phone and find somebody in the company that will talk to me. Or I can try and make it a warmer call. And I think that's one of the coolest things about LinkedIn is that you can use this to make it a warm connection by first calling somebody, finding who's working for that company, and finding if there's a second degree connection. In other words, somebody who is a friend with somebody that you're friends with, somebody that's connected to somebody you're connected to. And you call that person you're connected to saying, hey, I'm trying to reach Mary Jo over at this particular company, and it looks like you know her. Would you facilitate an introduction? To me, that 6 degrees of separation, that connection that you made with the first person that will connect you to the next person, is one of the biggest tools, one of the biggest opportunities of using LinkedIn, but you have to use it purposefully. You have to be able to know going into it, I want to connect with people that I know. Now, I look at it the same way. I've ruined my LinkedIn because I have so many people I'm connected with that I don't know. But I still can use it and look at it and say, wait a second, who do we know in common? And is there a chance I really know that person? So in a lot of cases, I do actually know the person, and there's still some value there because now I'm making it a warm introduction. So think about the businesses that you are trying to connect with. And if you are in a business to business sales environment, or if your product and service serves other people's businesses, LinkedIn is a huge opportunity to help you be able to grow your business by connecting with those people. Here's the deal. Overall, people totally misunderstand LinkedIn and they don't know where it fits in. A lot of people think that LinkedIn is simply for recruiting. Hey, I see there, I kind of got a digital resume and I use it for recruiting. I use it for finding recruits. I use it for being recruited. And John, beyond that, I don't see really any value to LinkedIn. And as a matter of fact, I'm a realtor. I'm a CPA that owns my own business. I'm not growing, so I don't need to hire anybody. I'm not going to go work for somebody else, so there's no need for me to be recruited. So what's the point in me being on LinkedIn? And what I'll tell you is that LinkedIn to me is the professionals networking platform. So you've got kind of Instagram, which is the social media networking for the younger generation, Facebook, social media networking for us older generations. Can't believe I'm older generation now. But the fact is that you just kind of have certain demographics that are in there. But in LinkedIn, it's designed for professionals. It's designed for business people. So you have to look at who's on LinkedIn and do I want to reach them? So do you have a need to sell to people, to get in front of people in a business to business relationship perspective? Now, some people are going to say, and I have some realtors on here right now who may say, yeah, John, I'm a realtor. I sell to consumers, so I don't really need to sell business to business. Well, first of all, a lot of your consumers are on LinkedIn, but you're going to find them more on some of the other social media platforms. But the reality is you're also going to find that you can sell to businesses and generate business through that leg, through that category of lead generation. And I've talked before about categories of lead generation, but I'll cover very quickly that getting business from someone that talks to your clients before your client knows they need your services. So if you think about if I was a financial planner, then I would want to do business with CPAs because CPAs are talking to people about their taxes and saying, hey, you know what? You need to get some tax shelter to these investments that you have. And so a CPA is going to refer somebody to a financial planner. The truth is the opposite happens as well. A financial planner is going to say, man, there's some major tax consequences to the investments that you're making. You need to talk to a CPA. So in both of those situations, that happens to be a very good reciprocal relationship, but some business referrals are mostly one way. If you think about an insurance agent, yes, they can sell insurance, home and auto, to consumers. That's who their client is. And they also sell business insurance to businesses. But the truth is they can also find businesses that talk to consumers that need their services. That would be maybe a homeowners insurance company would want to talk to me because I'm talking to a lot of people who ultimately need homeowners insurance. They're going to want to talk to realtors. My point is you need to decide who are your clients talking to before they're talking to you and start building relationships with them. And so you can use LinkedIn to search different categories. Find CPAs in your area, find financial planners or mortgage people in your area. It really is a great way to find professionals and say, who do I want to connect with? So let's talk a little bit about how to use LinkedIn. Very much like Facebook, you've got a personal page and a professional page. I pretty much use my personal page for everything. The professional page, kind of like Facebook, you have, hey, this is my persona. This is my landing page for my business. But in my opinion, a lot of the people on LinkedIn, they're already dealing in a professional persona. So unlike Facebook, where on Facebook, hey, I want to keep kind of my personal stuff personal, my business stuff business, everything on everything on LinkedIn is professional. You don't see a lot of people posting, hey, here's what I had for dinner last night, or here's where I went on vacation. They're posting things about their business. They're posting things about success stories of things that they've done to take care of their clients, or content or information that people who would do business with you want to see. So beyond just recruiting or being recruited, LinkedIn really, to me, serves as a platform that separates the audience, and pretty much everybody in that audience is looking at business to business connections and how can we do business together. Now, on your personal page, profile is the key. You need to put in everywhere that you've worked, when you've worked there, because LinkedIn starts connecting you with people that you've known at companies you've worked at before. That's a great opportunity for you to make new or rekindled connections with people that used to work at a company, or to find things in common. And that's super important when we're building any relationship professionally or personally. You want to find people that have things in common with you. So you put your college in there and you find people who went to college in the same college that you did. You put your prior history and you find somebody who worked at a company that you used to work at. That gives you one more method of connecting with that person and making it less about solely business, and be able to create that personal connection that makes somebody say, wow, this guy's a pretty good guy. I'd like to help him or her be successful. And so your profile is the key. Make sure you're filling out your profile in full. One of the new things that's new, like 2 years old, I just started looking at it, is the open to section in LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, in your profile, you have the option to click open to, and it gives you 3 choices of what you're open to. You're open to finding a job, you're open to providing services, or you're open to hiring. So what LinkedIn has really done is they've said, look, we're going to be really more clear about your intentions. What are your intentions with my daughter? Well, they're going to be more clear about what are your intentions in being on LinkedIn. And so you can now post, hey, my intentions are I'm looking to find a job. Now, the cool thing is LinkedIn thought about this and they separated it out and they said, you know what? If you're trying to find a job, we're only going to show that to recruiters, and we're not going to show it to recruiters at your company. So there is an attempt to put a veil over your intention to find a job, but just be super clear. Your company's recruiting on LinkedIn, and I'm sure they're looking for their own employees who are looking elsewhere. So I'm not convinced that it's a good idea to put publicly on LinkedIn, hey, I currently work for Summit Funding and I'm looking to work somewhere else. For the record, I do currently work for Summit Funding. I'm not looking to work somewhere else. But it is something to be aware of if you're going to do that. If you're looking for staff, if you're a recruiter, if you're hiring, put that in there. I'm open to hiring. That gives LinkedIn more information to connect you with people who are looking for a job because you're looking to fill a position. But the final piece, the second of those 3, is providing a service. And that's where you can make it super clear. Hey, I'm here because I have a service to provide and I want to promote that service. And now that service becomes searchable within LinkedIn. The other thing that LinkedIn is trying to do is they're trying to get a little bit more like some of the other social media platforms where you've got influencers, where you've got people who are creators of content. So this is an area that I just recently started looking into. I won't call myself an influencer, but I definitely focus on creating a lot of content. So they have something called creator mode. If you're putting a lot of content out there, then you can be a creator And now people don't just decide if they're going to connect with you, because a connection in LinkedIn requires both sides to agree. So very much like Facebook. If you are on Facebook and somebody asks to be your friend, you have to agree to be their friend. Same thing in LinkedIn. Somebody has to request a connection, and you have to agree to that connection. But if you're in creator mode, you can have followers, which means people can follow you and watch your stuff, and they are not actually a connection. So it allows you to create a following in a business platform like LinkedIn. So that's something I'm looking at doing. Obviously, I put content like this out here so that I can grow my reputation and get people to look at me as a great resource when they need a mortgage or they know somebody that needs a mortgage. So I'm looking at getting into and opening up creator mode so that I can have an easier way for people to follow me on LinkedIn. It also gives you the ability to post the 5 most common topics that you discuss. So if you're a creator and you're putting a lot of content out there, you can promote the type of content you're putting out so that LinkedIn can steer people towards your contents. And then they have 3 ways to deliver information. So you get to do LinkedIn Live, which actually I'm broadcasting on LinkedIn Live right now. I use a service called StreamYard. StreamYard is a system I log into that broadcasts this message to Facebook, to LinkedIn, to Twitter, and to YouTube simultaneously. So therefore, I can have people watching me at the exact same time on 4 different platforms, and I'm only doing the work once. So LinkedIn has a live broadcast, which I'm utilizing. They have something called an audio event, which really is just a conference call, but it's an open conference call. So you can say, hey, I'm going to be teaching about X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of like Zoom, but it's Zoom with audio only that's built into the LinkedIn ecosystem. So if that sounds like something appealing where, hey, I think I can have a pretty good mass appeal and I want to have an audio only conversation with these people, you can do an audio event if you're a creator in LinkedIn. And you can also do newsletters. So you can publish content, put it out there, and try and grow your number of followers. So content mode is something cool to look at. A couple of little things to pay attention to on LinkedIn. First of all, endorsements and recommendations. So you get to put in LinkedIn, what are my skill sets? What are the things that I'm good at that I want to be recognized for? And then you can ask people that you're connected to endorse you in those particular categories. So you've got a list now of saying, hey, these are my skills, and I've got 50 people that have endorsed me as being good at that skill set. It gives you some credibility, okay? The next thing is recommendations. I like recommendations. Problem is, I haven't paid a lot of attention to them for a long time. So when I looked at my recommendations, I realized I have a bunch of recommendations. They're all close to 10 years old. Matter of fact, I'm looking here on my other screen real quick, and my recommendations, the most recent recommendation I have was January 28th of 2013. So I've gotten a fair number of recommendations. I just haven't connected with people. I've got 14 recommendations. I got them all around the same time. Now, what I did is I actually recommended other people. And when you recommend and you do a recommendation for your people that you are connected with, LinkedIn prompts them to respond in kind and to do a recommendation for you. So it's giving and getting. You give a recommendation, you got a good chance of getting a recommendation. But keep them current. Don't forget about it. Don't do what I did and spend 8 years forgetting about LinkedIn. I got a lot of recommendations on my testimonial site. So I have a huge number of clients who have recommended me, and they continue to recommend me regularly. But if you went on LinkedIn, you'd think that, well, this guy was pretty good in 2013, but it's been 8 years and nobody's really recommended him since then. It almost is a negative to have only old reviews on a site like this. So just be aware of the fact that if you're going to use recommendations, try and regularly fish for a little bit more. Somebody who said, hey, John, you did an absolutely fantastic job. I should ask them, hey, I really appreciate that. Can I ask a big favor? Sure, what do you need? Are you on LinkedIn? Yeah. Would you mind writing a recommendation for me on LinkedIn, explaining what you just said about how great of a job I did for you? Yeah, John, I'm happy to do that. No problem. It just takes thinking about it. So be aware of what your profile looks like, because people look at your profile on LinkedIn all the time. And it's something that if you pay for LinkedIn Premium, you get to see who looked at your profile and what they looked at. I never pay for it. I haven't paid a penny for LinkedIn in my entire life. Now, maybe at some point I'm going to decide it's worth it. If you've paid for LinkedIn and you find it's worth it, post it in comments. Let me know what you find is valuable in paid version of LinkedIn. But for me, I've gotten a decent amount of traction out of it, and I haven't paid a penny for it. What my traction really has been about is about what my kids will tell you is called IRL connections. If you don't know what IRL is, it means in real life. And the idea that I've started leveraging is going through the people I'm connected with on LinkedIn and doing a super strange and unexpected thing, picking up the phone and calling them. Hey, I've been connected with you on LinkedIn for a long time, and I don't think we've ever actually talked. Do you have a few minutes to just get to know each other a little bit? And you're targeting who you're trying to talk to. You're targeting particular industries. You're talking to them about, hey, tell me about your business and what you do for a living. And let me see if I can help you grow your business. Because if you give, you're likely to get in return. So meet those people in real life. Transcend the digital. Don't just be somebody that's talking electronically. Here says the guy who's talking electronically. Transcend the digital and make it a real life connection. So you do that in two ways. You take the people you meet in real life and you ask them to connect on LinkedIn. You take the people that you know on LinkedIn and at least pick up the phone and call them. I'm not sure that you should be calling everybody and saying, hey, I've stalked you on LinkedIn. Will you meet with me? Maybe a little creepy, but you can definitely start with a phone call. Do a Zoom call and talk to each other. At least it's a personal conversation, but you'd be amazed at how easy that call is. People who are active on social media, such as LinkedIn, they don't even think about the fact that, hey, there's really a human on the other side that I can talk to. If you're the one that makes the phone call, you convert that digital connection to a real life connection. One of the other cool things about LinkedIn is that it has a lot of groups. So you heard me last week talk about Facebook groups and how you can use Facebook groups to drive your business and to create groups and to have discussion groups about different things that are related to your industry or ancillary industries or hobbies or that kind of thing. Well, the same thing is true in LinkedIn, but more on a professional level. So you might have groups of people who used to work for the same company. Well, again, you've got something in common. Groups of people who work for a particular, went to a particular college. Groups of people who have certain interests that they like. Maybe people who like reading business books or people who are into law. You can connect with people that have similar interests at a professional level and then use that strategy I talked about of breaking through the digital veil and connecting to them in real life. I think that's the most important thing that I looked at in LinkedIn that I've found success with over the years is connecting with people and then bursting through that digital veil. So let's talk a little bit about some of the specifics of posting on LinkedIn and how I use it. So first of all, I share testimonials that I've had in business. I share, obviously, these videos. I share strategies, tactics, tips, and tricks. I'm going to start writing articles. I really want to start doing a lot more written content. I do a lot of video content. I do a lot of pictures, but I think there's a place for what we'll call blog posting and having something that's written out talking about a particular topic or category. For some people, they're the opposite of me. They're going to be, John, I'm happy writing it out. I'm just afraid to be on camera. For me, being on camera is super efficient and it serves multiple purposes because not only do you get to know who I am from a professional perspective, but you get to feel like you know me a little bit personally because you've seen me talk, you know some of my mannerisms. You just kind of have that connection with someone that doesn't come from the written word. So just be aware that you need to think about how do I use each of these mediums, and I'm talking about video versus written word versus pictures and graphics, and how do I fit all them into my strategy? The other thing I'll say about posting on LinkedIn is most people are not looking at LinkedIn on nights or weekends. It's their professional outlet, and so they're looking at things that have to do with their business. So for the most part, you're not going to get a lot of views on posts that you place on Saturday and Sunday or at nighttime. You want to do more things during the week. Now, the cool thing is you can put some of this on autopilot. I'll talk sometime down the road about how we kind of put all of our social media strategies together, but there's services you can sign up with that will post to multiple social media platforms at the same time. You just have to think about, hey, I might post the same content to Facebook as I am to LinkedIn, But on Facebook, I'm going to post it at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. LinkedIn, I'm going to post it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday. So just think about the platform and when your audience is likely to be on there to watch. The final thing I'll talk about, we're probably going to end a little bit early today, but the final thing I'll talk about that's a simple thing in LinkedIn is to recognize important events. So LinkedIn tracks your work anniversary because you're putting when did you start with your current employer, and LinkedIn tracks your birthday. So you're going to see on your notifications, congratulate this person for this work anniversary. Now I'll tell you, there's a preset wording, congratulations, great job, way to go. I think you should elevate that a little bit because I've made it pretty clear, it's pretty clear to me when I'm watching somebody posting a reply to my work anniversary, when they all look the same. Because everybody clicked the congratulations, and how do they have people click the way to go? Just take a minute and type something. Hey, John, congratulations on 11 years with Summit Funding. Hope everything's going well with you. Give me a call if you ever want to get together. Something like that. Obviously, that last part's breaking the digital veil and looking at connecting with somebody IRL. Haha, get it? See, I'm getting hip with all these terms. But the fact is, what you want to do is you want to be genuine about it. You don't want it to feel robotic, because what you're not paying attention to is everybody else who's saying congratulations or happy birthday is clicking the little automatic wording, and it's not personal. It doesn't feel like you care. Yeah, you said thank you, you said congratulations, but it didn't feel like you cared. Guys, I'm going to wrap up here in a second, but I want to let first of all, I want to give you an opportunity if you're watching live right now to go ahead and post any comments about any questions you have, any success stories that you've had with LinkedIn. I'd love to hear about it. If you're watching recorded, please do the same thing. The bottom line is, gang, LinkedIn is probably, like I said, the most misunderstood social media platform. But if you're chasing business people, it's a huge opportunity for you to go after those people and find commonalities, find ways to connect with them and provide value. So the things that you put onto LinkedIn, make sure it's providing value to the business people you're connecting with so that they think of you and want to see more of what the content is that you're providing. So if you liked what I'm providing to you today, please do me a favor, like it on whatever platform you're on, share it on whatever platform that you're on, and subscribe. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go to youtube.com/John Lone King. Please subscribe to my channel. That would help me out a lot. When you subscribe to my channel on YouTube, click the notification bell. That way you get notified every time I upload videos. Typically on Fridays, I upload videos. Every once in a while, I'll do it on other days during the week. But I'm regularly putting out new content about what's going on in the industry, the housing industry, the mortgage market, tips and tricks like what I'm talking about today. So if you like the information that I'm providing, please comment, please like, please share, please subscribe. And please call me if you need a mortgage or you know anybody else who needs a mortgage. That is how I get paid. So I'd love the opportunity to serve you or anyone you know, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing week. We'll talk to y'all soon.